Hey, this week we're talking about verbal behavior. And verbal behavior, defined by Cooper, is behavior whose reinforcement is mediated by a listener. So it means that the reinforcement for verbal behavior comes from another person's actions. Verbal behavior is broken down into different categories called verbal operants. And some examples of these operants are amand, which is a type of verbal behavior that involves making a request, tact, which is a verbal operant that involves labeling something that is seen, heard, smelled, tasted, or touched. Echoic, repeating a word said by an adult or another person. Or intraverbal, which is verbal response to a verbal stimulus, such as answering a question or telling a story or recalling a memory. And some examples of these are, like, a man would be like a request, like saying juice or water when they're thirsty. Or a tact would be labeling something in the environment, like saying dog when they see a dog or they see a specific dog, like a poodle. Echoic, repeating a word that someone says, like if I say pizza, my daughter Sophie would often be like pizza, pizza, pizza when she had lower vocabulary skills. And then intraverbal, which would be like answering a question, responding to a verbal cue, like if I said, Sophie, what color is a banana? And she, might say yellow. So those are just some examples of how verbal behaviors are used. And then in terms of ABA using them, basically the therapist could start out by teaching the mands, the request. It's the most basic type of language. So for example, say an individual autism learns that saying cookie can produce a cookie. And as soon as the student makes the request, the therapist repeats the word and presents the requested item. So that reinforces them saying that word, and they've noticed that speaking the word, verbalizing it, can earn them reward of what they're actually looking for. So it doesn't always mean that the person has to say the actual word to receive the desired item. Sometimes they can simply make a request by pointing. So it's almost like in shaping behavior, reinforcing those successive approximations towards the goal or the target behavior. And then as the students reinforce, or the child is reinforced for the efforts by pointing to what they want, and they continue to present the word or the request to them, hopefully they pick up on that, and that can be reinforced, and then they can increase usage of those words and then generalizing them over to other words. So basically, I'll go with mands, but the same goes for tacts, echoic, intraverbal. And I found that with my daughter, it was really helpful early on when she was so low in terms of using verbal expression. The more repetitious we did, and reinforcing her efforts before she was able to say the words, but by pointing or orienting in the direction of the desired item, really helped a lot.